Che. Welcome. How are you today? So, today I thought I'd talk about surgery. What my experience was with my top surgery. So I've had my surgery in December of 20. And I had already been on HRT, hormone therapy, for almost 3 years at that point. I had developed a little bit of a chest. I was a 38B, small c, but a good B. And when I had gone and interviewed with my surgeon, who specializes in transgender surgeries, part of the conversation was, he says, well, what size was I thinking? How big did I want to be? And I was honestly thinking a C cup. I was like, I don't want to be huge, but I would like to have a nice physique. And she's like, okay. But she was there, and two of her assistants, all girls, all women. And so they examined me, they weighed me, did my figures, And she says, well, a C would not fit your physique. She says, you're a fairly tall person. You're not unusually big. I'm 5'10"-ish and 200 pounds. So she said, for your build, you really need to do a D cup. And I was like, well, okay. You're the doctor. You're the one that does this for your livelihood. You know what the end result would look like, or what would be the best look that I wanted. So I agreed with her. I says, well, you make the choice, and I will go with that, with the D cup. So when it came time to actually go to the hospital for my surgery, it was up in Philadelphia. Now, to credit my family, my ex-wife, she went with me. We went up the day before. I paid for rooms at a Hampton Inn. So we went up. My ex-wife, our oldest daughter, and our youngest granddaughter, she was 12, I think, at the time, 11 or 12. They all went up. So we got the rooms. We stayed overnight. The next morning, I went to the hospital. My wife, my ex, she took me to the hospital, and I got checked in and everything. She couldn't come in because, again, it was during COVID, but they were doing surgeries, but they just didn't allow visitors in the hospital. So they told her, they says, we'll call you when you can come pick her up. Her. And she's like, okay. And she told me, good luck. We'll see you in a little while. And when I was up there, my surgeon, obviously, after I'm undressed and in the surgical garb and everything, and I'm laying in the little gurney bed or whatever, in the room, she comes in, she's checking me and how am I feeling? Give me a, touchy-feely. I feel good. I'm trust me, you're good. You're in good hands. We'll have this done. And she, again, just told me very quickly what the surgery would be. Again, I had already had this conversation with her a couple times. So I get all the appropriate shots, and they had me anesthetized or started, and propanoled and everything. And I remember being wheeled off, and I was a little conscious, and I remember going down the hallway, and that was kind of the last thing I remember till I was like waking up back in the room, and I was like, oh, I hurt. And my nurse, or one of the nurses, came in, and she's talking to me. And she says, wow, you know, that was quick. You were only in there about 45 minutes. You know, something like that. It wasn't long. And she come in there and she was, how am I feeling? And are you good? And they wouldn't let me stand up yet. They said, nope, you're going to sit in the wheelchair. You want to take you down. So it was hurry up and get me done and get me out of the room. It's a hospital. So, you know, I got all dressed and everything, and I had to wear something. They told me to wear a button shirt from the front, very loose. And, of course, it's winter. It was December 7th when I got that surgery. Kind of an odd date to have surgery, December 7th, but that's the day it was. And so she got me all, you know, I was all cleaned up. I was still groggy, but I was conscious. And she took me down a wheelchair downstairs. We'd already called my ex, and so she was downstairs outside waiting. The car was there. So they wheeled me out. I got in the car, and I got in the front right seat, and my ex was driving, of course. And she's like, well, how do you feel, Dolly? she was making a fun of it. She's like, you're going to be Dolly Parton. She says, because she was like, you're getting D cops. So anyhow, I get in the car and we go back to the hotel and picked up my daughter and granddaughter, because it was still only about 10:30 in the morning, maybe not even 11 by the time we get back to the hotel, because it was before they were just waiting in the lobby. They'd already checked out. But then we started the trip back home from Philadelphia back to Frederick, and of course it decided to start snowing that day. But my car's all-wheel drive, so they were driving my car. So a little bit about the actual experience. The surgery was, you know, very simple. It went very good. It was a very short amount of time that you're on the table for surgery. It was just 2 incisions down below where my bosoms are now. And they create the pocket and they put those implants in. Now, I was not expecting the amount of discomfort, not pain, but discomfort that I was going to experience for about 2 months, really, I guess. 6 weeks, 2 months. It was a pretty good while. But you got to remember, I went from a 36B bust, and after surgery, my post size now, after everything has settled and everything, I'm a 42D. So for a genetic male body to do that, it's a lot of trauma to the body. So I was all black and blue, and I had my suture marks where the incisions were. But I guess the uncomfortable part was for the first 2 weeks, obviously I couldn't take a shower. I was bound, like binding, because they did not want this to move. So I was in a corset, and it was extremely tight. So I could not take a full deep breath. I could not expand my ribs or my lungs, because it was that tight. But it had to be, because they didn't want all this moving and causing more getting out of place. They wanted it all to heal in place. So that was about 2 weeks that I was in that. Then I went up and I had a post-exam. And she's like, okay, when you get home, she loosened it up there and she was happy with it. But I was still in that. And she says, okay, that's looser now. But I still want you to wear that, I think, another 2 weeks before you can take it off and wear a traditional bra. And so it was another 2 weeks, but it was a lot more comfortable because now I could breathe. I could move a little bit. But I was still uncomfortable, and it was mostly because my body was having to get used to, well, the addition. The addition. It changed my walking, obviously, because now I had about 10 extra pounds up top and in the front. So I had to change my posture and how I walked. And it was all stuff you did naturally, but was a learning experience. So I did that for about 2 weeks, I guess. And my sutures and everything, it was just, now the sutures had dissolved and it was just red from the incisions. They're all gone now, so there's just a little bit of mark. If you know where to look, you can see it, this little scar tissue. Not much. But after I finished that, and she says I could wear a regular bra, she told me not to wear a underwire bra. She says give it at least 6 months before I try to wear a lifting, shaping underwire bra. She said I want you in a sports bra and comfortable, but she says it needs to be snug. She said it didn't have to be as tight as it had been, but she says it should be snug and just a nice soft sports bra. So I wore that, something like that, for the next 5 months. So my dog come up and lay her head on my lap. So the surgery went great. I got everything and more than I thought I was going to get. I think it looks good. I think I have a good physique. I get complimented. Would I do it again? Yeah. It was right for me. So the reason I'm talking about this is, I've seen some other younger girls. I mean, I'm in my 60s. Girls in their 20s and 30s, where they've talked about their surgery and how they feel, and they don't really. At least I haven't seen anywhere they talked about the discomfort of the recovery. The surgery itself is no big deal. It's that several months of your body getting used to this new weight and disproportionment and adjusting to it. Because like I said, when I would go to bed and if I laid on my side, it did not feel natural. It won't. I'd never had it. So you just, it forced little changes in your the way you did things. And all of a sudden when I would reach, it was like, oh, I can't reach like I used to across my body because something gets in the way now. It's just the fun, I guess, what it is, because you didn't grow up and gradually grow with it. You just kind of woke up after a surgery and you're well endowed. Thanks to modern medicine. Like I said, would I do it again? Yeah, for me, it emotionally, it changed me. Because beforehand, I always knew that, I could take the bra off and I could go pass as a guy. Once I did this, I'm like, I'm committed, I'm a girl. I love being a girl, but it does something. It did something to me. It confirmed for me having the body or beginning to look a little more feminine. It just made it all of a sudden more natural for me. I felt good about it. I was more relaxed about it. And I think my confidence level of going out as a girl was immeasurably better. Because now all of a sudden I was like, I look like a girl. I feel like a girl. I am a girl. And so the confidence I had in going out and presenting and being the girl that I am, it became natural. So today I feel if I have, it's a hairpiece. If I don't have my hair on and I go outside, I feel unnatural because then I kind of look like a guy. A big-chested guy, but I kind of got a guy face I had. But, so it's just what happens. Now, if you're considering this, make sure you find a good doctor. Don't be cheap. Don't go to the cheapest person. Don't do the cheapest inserts. If you have to wait a year because of finances or something like that, wait the year. This is your health. It's your good well-being. So don't do something medically risky that would compromise a good, healthy surgery. I mean, it's cosmetic surgery, and it does make us look better, feel better.
Unknown caller.
Yeah, I'm not answering. So, distracted by the phone. Give me a second. Good. It went to voicemail. It was spam. So like I was saying, when you're contemplating it, save up for it, do it right. Don't be cheap. You're talking about your health and how to take care of yourself. Get it done right. You can go to another country, probably get it cheaper. Just do your homework, do your research, make sure it's a good, credible doctor. Now, I chose to do it in Philly, 200 miles from where I live, and I've known that doctor. So that's all I got to say about that, I think. So this is a good one for today, and I will talk with you later. I'd like to say Mado, thank you for coming in, stopping, and letting me talk to you here at Squaw's Corner, where we just sit and talk about problems, issues, things. We celebrate life. Okay? Bye.